You may be seated. All right, would the defense like to call their first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I call Albert Milgram to stand.
Albert Milgram, please come up and have a seat. You have been previously sworn in. You may begin.
Please state your name for the jury.
My name is Albert Milgram.
What do you do?
I'm a psychology professor at the Southern Iowa University.
Can you please explain what you study?
I specialize in the study of fear and how it affects the human brain.
Is it possible to predict someone's reaction to fright stimuli?
Different people have different reactions to the same stimuli, so it is impossible to predict how a person would react to stimuli.
Is it common for people to have heart attacks from being frightened to death?
It is very rare for people to be frightened to death, but it has happened before.
Is there any evidence which this is proven to happen in other circumstances?
Well, in the Chinese and Japanese culture, there's an innate fear of the number 4. 27% more heart attacks happen on the 4th of each month than any other day of the month. This fear is caused by the similarity of the pronunciation of the Chinese word for 4 and the Chinese word for death.
Can you please tell us what excitation transfer is?
When scared, the body undergoes a spike in heart rate, breathing rate, and muscle tension, among other involuntary responses. This is what many adrenaline junkies live for. However, if the body cannot handle the spike in heart rate and muscle tension, your heart can balloon up and you can have a heart attack.
Any more questions, Your Honor?
Thank you. We have a cross-examination of this witness.
Yes, Your Honor. So, do you follow Miss Funt on Facebook, Twitter, maybe even Skype?
Yes, I do.
Do you watch her videos?
Yes, I do, for scientific purposes.
Are you a fan of her work?
Yes, I am.
You said you learn a lot from her videos, correct?
I do.
If those videos stopped, would it harm your learning abilities or experiencing from her videos?
Yes.
If more deaths like Charlene Baskerville happening in these pranks, would you still continue studying and watching Alan Funt's videos?
Yes, I would.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Dr. Milgram, you are excused. Would the defense like to call their second witness?
Yes, I would like to call Ashton Michael.
Ashton Michael, please take the stand. You have been previously sworn in. You may begin.
Please introduce yourself to the court.
My name is Ashton Michaels. I'm 24 and I'm an actor.
What made you decide to be an actor?
I was inspired through my mom. She acts in local theaters, and I act since I was in grade school.
Would you consider yourself a dedicated actor?
Yes, I devoted my life to bring this art to everyone else's life.
And would you say you've had many sacrifices to get to this?
Yes, I have.
What sort of sacrifices or ordeals have you succumbed to?
There has been occasions where, in my youth, where I have been punched, kicked, and pepper sprayed, but I still move on and do my best.
So, based on that and your past ordeals, you always perform your best top previous performances, correct?
Yes, because as an actor, I always strive to excel by bringing the best I can be. That is the goal every time I perform.
And it is through your acting career you met Aline Funt, correct?
Yes, I auditioned for one of her videos, and that's how I've been acting for her. My first opinion of Aline was that although she seemed erratic, she also seemed responsible.
So, how would you describe your relationship with Aline Funt?
As said, it is an actor and director relationship, but she is responsible with who she picks. They know what to do if something went wrong.
When you say responsible, do you mean that Aline Funt had all of her employees trained in basic first aid and are CPR certified?
Yes. because she was responsible. She didn't want anyone to get hurt. She wants people to enjoy her videos.
Now, directing back to the unfortunate event, what does Aline Funt say before each and every job?
She says, do your best or you're fired. And that,
Do you take that as encouragement as an actor to do better than your previous experiences?
yes, that makes me feel like someone pushed me to make me better.
So, on the day of the unfortunate accident, when Aline Funt said this to you beforehand, it was no different than any other performance you had done.
Correct.
Did you do this prank on several previous occasions?
Yes, we did. We did it on the week of July 1st, 2013.
So, based on your previous performances, the elevator seemed secure.
Yes, because we had done this before.
When Charlene Baskerville collapsed, what did you do?
First, at nothing. I thought she passed out, but when she didn't get up, I tried to save her with my CPR training.
And who gave the CPR training to you?
Aline Funt showed all her actors what to do if something ever went wrong.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Do we have a cross-examination of this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. You work for Alan Funt's Fear Factory, correct?
Correct.
You were practicing the elevator prank on July 1st, 2013?
Yes.
You were in the elevator during the accident.
Yes.
If the lights were completely off, would you be able to see where the handrail was in the elevator?
No.
Even though Charlene collapsed, you finished the scene.
No.
What did the defendant tell you before you went into the elevator?
To do your best or you're fired?
Does Alan let you improvise on the pranks?
No.
After the scene, you went to help the victim, correct?
Yes.
Have you ever broken character in front of Funt?
No.
Has Funt ever threatened to fire you?
Yes.
If she fired you, would you have testified for her? Yes or no answer, please.
Maybe.
Is it possible that Aline only kept you to testify for her?
No.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. You are excused, Mr. Michael. The defense, would you like to call your final witness?
Yes, we would, Your Honor. I would like to call Aline Funt to the stand.
Ms. Funt, please take your seat up on the witness stand. You have been previously sworn in. You may begin.
Tell us a little about yourself.
Let's see. My name is Aline Funt. I'm 30 years old. I have a husband, Chris, a 40-year-old son, Jacob, and a 3-month-old puppy named Daisy, and a loving father with Alzheimer's.
And your mother?
Well, she recently passed away due to breast cancer.
I'm sorry for your loss. What do you do for a living?
I'm the director of a webcasted horror series on FrightNight.net. I pick up my camera, I set up horrifying scenes around town to scare the townspeople to capture their reactions. And when a person is scared, they go to a level of transparency where you can capture true fear. It captures the essence of humanity. I simply create art. I love what I do.
Now I'd like to direct your attention to the morning of July 2nd. Ms. Funt, can you please explain what took place?
Well, I woke up at 9:30 a.m. to get ready for work. And since I was running late, I picked up a Frappuccino from the Java Hut to keep me awake.
What happened after you arrived at the office?
I headed to the office, and it's a surveillance monitor showed the Baskervilles entering the building at approximately 10 o'clock a.m. I wasn't expecting them, but they continued to the building. They saw the out of order sign on the road elevators, and they stepped into the Fox elevator by accident.
What happened? Why did you stop them from going into the faux elevator? What happened after that?
Well, I'm not one to pass up the opportunity to get footage, so I let the prank commence. The elevator started shaking and the lights flickered, and that's when Ashton stepped aside. Charlene then crumbled to the floor. After the prank was over, Ashton checked her pulse and I called for help. I offered my condolences to Devon by offering to cover all expenses for the hospital and funeral, but she refused.
Then you were completely unaware of the meeting.
Yes, my personal assistant, Stephanie Rodriguez, later told me that she scheduled a meeting on my behalf and forgot to inform me prior to that day.
Miss Bunt, have you performed a prank like this before?
Yes, I've performed several pranks like this before. I've done zombie chases, haunted houses, police pranks, etc. I experienced in my work.
And do you take any safety precautions?
Of course. We did several previous trials before making public pranks. We consider safety of our actors and civilians. These always been our top priority, this company policy.
And there have been previous trials of the elevator prank prior to the accident.
Yes, there has been previous practice trials and trials on the public. We started a public pranks on the day before, on July 1st.
So anyone, not only Miss Baskerville, could have been in the elevator at that time?
Yes, there were several people in the lobby, and anyone who needed to see me at the time could have been in the elevator as well.
And did anyone from the previous trials react similar to Miss Baskerville?
No, everyone had excellent reactions. The chances of similar reaction occurring again are 1 in a million.
And lastly, do you believe you have control over anyone's heart, body, or mind in reaction to a prank?
Of course not. I can't control how someone will react to any of my scenes. I simply film it.
Thank you, Miss Bunt. No further questions, Your Honor.
Excellent. Do we have a cross-examination of this witness?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Did you intend the death of Charlene Baskerville?
Of course not.
Could you see the Baskervilles coming in from the control room?
I did.
Did you immediately recognize them?
Yes.
Had you planned on meeting with the Baskervilles to discuss the threatened lawsuit?
Yes, but not on that day.
Where were you planning to pulling up the prank on just Charlene Baskerville?
No.
When they entered the elevator, did you want Charlene Baskerville to feel fright unexpectedly, but you never planned on death?
Of course not. I film fear for my work, so I always expect fear, but of course never death.
Did you and your company build the elevator?
Yes,
Did you practice the elevator scene?
we have.
Why did you choose it to do it? Why did you choose to do it in an elevator?
Why do we choose to do it?
Why did you choose to do it in an elevator?
Well, it's something different from our previous scenes. We tried it before, and it seemed more out of the ordinary than our previous scenes, so it was a nice first start.
So you have never emailed Miss Baskerville?
I did not.
Did you mean to hurt the Baskerville family?
No.
Where is the video from the elevator prank?
The videos with footage with sheriffs.
No further questions.
Thank you very much. You may be excused.
Thank you.
Let's take a 5-minute break right now. Once we come back, we will have each side present their closing statements. We're dismissed for 5 minutes. You may be seated. Prosecution, would you like to begin your closing statements?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, opposing counsel, and members of the jury. The reason we came here today was because of a prank gone wrong. You listened to 6 witnesses, and they all told the story of Charlene Baskerville and her unfortunate death. Because of this tragic event, the prosecution team and I believe that Aline is guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Lee Stroud told us that Miss Bunt could in fact have controlled and had control over the prank from a control room. Dr. Watson said that the type of fear Charlene Baskerville experienced could cause death. Devin Baskerville, daughter of the deceased, said that what Bunt is doing is dangerous. The elevator accident was her second incident with Aline Bunt. Our expert witness, Dr. Watson, was our only had one piece of evidence, and that was his resume. It was his education qualifications. Finally, Miss Bunt is being charged with involuntary manslaughter of Charlene Baskerville. The prosecution team says that we are here as a result of the prank gone wrong. Now that we have presented our evidence, I am standing before you asking for a verdict of guilty.
Thank you very much, prosecution. Defense, would you like to give your closing statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
May it please the court, opposing counsel, members of the jury, Ms. Bunt is not responsible for the death of Ms. Charlene Baskerville. Safety has always been FrightNight.net's top priority. This was simply an unfortunate accident you could not prepare for. In this trial, Ms. Bunt is being charged with involuntary manslaughter when Charlene and Devin Baskerville stepped into a faux prank elevator to meet for a settlement meeting that Ms. Bunt was not aware of. When the prank commenced, Ashton Michael emerged as a ghost, scaring Charlene Baskerville Dr. Albert Milgram proved that predicting any response to a prank is impossible to do. Different people will have different reactions, and Miss Bunt cannot control the reactions. It's simply impossible to control or predict a reaction to a prank. Ashton Michael, when called to the stand, showed that all actors are CPR and first aid certified. He proved that the safety of actors and civilians always came first before a prank. He showed that this was a shocking event and was very rare and unlikely to happen again. Eileen Funt proved she has always considered safety first. We proved that she was unaware of the meeting and did offer her help and condolences. We proved that she made the elevator safe and understood it was an unlikely event you cannot prepare for. We proved that Miss Funt did consider safety precautions as shown in Exhibit 6 in the elevator diagram in which handrails were shown. Ms. Bunt is being charged with involuntary manslaughter and had prior safety precautions even in an accident you could not prepare for. She had no control over a person's body, heart, or mind in reaction to a prank. Now that we have presented our evidence, I am standing before you to ask for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you very much. All right, well, at this time I believe our trial is over. The judges will take a recess and decide on the verdict of the case. First off, I just want to say y'all did fantastic. Give yourself a round of applause. We counted all the votes. It's pretty close. But in the case of the state of Iowa versus Eileen Baskerville, Eileen Funt, sorry. Eileen Funt. I don't even know the case very well. Eileen Funt has been found not guilty. All of y'all did fantastic. This was a great job amongst all of y'all. I'm so impressed with all the stuff that y'all learned throughout the course of the week. And y'all, I mean, it's shown. Like y'all definitely improved over the course of the week. Some of these kids have never even really heard of mock trial before this week. They didn't know what it was, and the fact that they come from that kind of knowledge to doing what y'all saw today, I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, we have college kids that can't even do that.
Yeah, we normally have 3 or 4 months between getting a case and presenting it in trial, and they had a week of most of the day. So they did a phenomenal job. A big part of mock trial, though, is constructive criticism at the end. In our trials, at the end, the judges and the jury gives general comments of things to improve on. So everyone did great. A few things that I think everyone could work on. Speak up and slow down. That we tell our attorneys that, we tell our participants that, even people who are graduating have to be reminded that at tournaments, that you always want to project because there's people in all the corners of the room that need to be able to hear you. You want to slow down because you know what you're talking about, but they don't necessarily know what you're talking about. So it's a little bit more difficult when you don't have a full understanding of the case, if things get a little jumbled up by going too quickly. So it's definitely good to slow down, talk as clearly as possible.
That'll probably be my main point too, is make sure you slow down. A lot of y'all kind of sped up. Sometimes it's a thing about nerves. If you're kind of nervous up on stand, or if you're nervous up in front of everybody, and your voice kind of tends to speed up, and you get kind of quiet. But it wasn't too big of a problem. I understood everybody for the most part. Hopefully some of y'all in the back did. But probably something else. Y'all are really good with eye contact. You made eye contact with me. You made eye contact with y'all are constructively the jury, by the way. So y'all are great with eye contact. If you're a witness, I would probably say maybe look at the judge a little bit more when you're answering a question. But from what I saw, it was never a problem. Y'all did fantastic. So right now, in mock trial, it's a general practice that you choose the most outstanding attorney and most outstanding witness from each trial. So there will be a most outstanding attorney from this trial and most outstanding witness from this trial, and there will also be 2 more in the afternoon. So, you want to do attorney only witness?
Sure. Okay, so everyone did a fantastic job. You guys all worked very hard preparing this week. We know we threw a lot at you. We had very high expectations. You guys met them. It was awesome. You did an incredible job. So, yeah, okay.
You get a certificate and your big prizes?
Yes. So, don't eat them all at once, or your parents will be very mad at us. Okay, so the most outstanding attorney award for this trial goes to Rashika Singh.
Congratulations. And there's, can't forget the skill. All right, for most valuable witness, we're going to have to go with Ms. Mihara. You were quiet before we even started the trial. We got the fake tears going on. I liked it. All right, well, that basically concludes trial one. Thank you, parents. Thank all of y'all for coming today. It's a nice little, hopefully a nice little break, and you get to see your kids do some amazing stuff today. So thank y'all.
Yeah, if you have any questions,
Parents,
meet
give your
us.
parents a round of applause.